What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So the Postal Service is under attack, guys. We have Doge trying to find waste, fraud, and abuse inside of the United States Postal Service, and they got a letter of okay from Postmaster DeJoy. What does that mean? Well, let's take a second here and let's see who does the Postal Service benefit. All right, you got it, guys. It benefits every American in this country. All right, because either directly or indirectly, the Postal Service works for you. All right, but on a deeper level, who does the Postal Service employ? Well, the Postal Service employs more veterans, more minorities, more people without college degrees than any other private or government agency or corporation in this nation, in this country. All right, the Postal Service is the lifeline, the path towards middle class for hundreds and thousands of people who may not have any other path to get there. All right, so in the old ways of thinking, this was a guaranteed path to security. All right, put your time in, get to your retirement, get a pension, all right? Live the rest of your days in peace and serenity, all right? But now we have a bump in the status quo, okay? And what this has led is to confusion, if nothing more but confusion and fear. It instills fears in the minds of postal employees, which makes them vote or make decisions that they don't know the consequences of. Okay, that's where we are today. All right, because of this uncertainty and because of the precise timing of where we are in negotiations of our contract, this hiccup, okay, I say hiccup because it's my belief that we will get through it. However, the concessions that we make today, okay, will affect us going into the future. Okay, now I say concessions because we are on the verge of taking substantially less in arbitration than what we voted for, than what we are worth, and less than we deserve. And it's all under the demise of, is the Postal Service going to be incorporated into the Department of Commerce? Is the Postal Department going to become privatized? Is a mass layoff of postal workers about to happen? Okay, is Doge going to trim the fat so much from the Postal Service that it gets rid of more than just administrative jobs? Are postal workers that touch the mail at threat of losing their careers? And because when you see headlines like that, when you see uncertainty, especially in communities of colors and under and underprivileged communities and communities that, you know, have no direct access to postal offices and depend heavily on rural services that the post office provides, that uncertainty causes fear. Okay, when you try to threaten the dismantling of something that is older than the Constitution that protects the rights of all men and women in this country, we got a bigger problem than what the eye meets, right? However, it's not an excuse, okay, for our leaders to lead us into fear and confusion, okay? Our leaders are supposed to find a way to make everything at least sound better, all right? I mean, they're all good liars. We know that. When they want to sell us a picture of garbage and say it's a Van Gogh, they can put the words together and they can make it sound nice. But now we got to understand that they're using this fear-based way of speaking to get us to agree to an agreement that is quite frankly going to set us back a couple decades. You know, if you think we took a concession in 2013 by creating the CCA. We better take another concession right here, guys. Okay, any language that caps, okay, they try to cap the COLA in the 70s, and no, it didn't happen. Okay, now they're going to try to cap our wage, whether the Tolino memo that posted a couple days ago is true or not. Any language talking that management has gained certain assurances from union leadership that they will not challenge the work rules or the wage implementation, we gotta know that something big here is happening. And then the unions are creating rallies throughout the country. Fight like hell, protect the post office. U.S. mail is not for sale, right? So with the fear of the uncertainty of the Postal Service, is it worth us to accept any contract, or even if that contract sets us back decades? That's where we are today. Okay, that's where we are. I don't agree with it. Okay, I don't think the Postal Service is going anywhere. I don't. All right. The rallies. Okay, the rallies are happening throughout the country. Okay, what are they doing? Okay, they're just showing how strong this union is. The union is strong. It's unstoppable once we garner our support together and make noise. Okay, these rallies should have happened 2 years ago. Okay, the rallies today are not for our contract. They're not contract rallies. These rallies are contracts to support the Postal Service so that it doesn't become dismantled. That's what these rallies are. Do not be confused. Do not think that these rallies are for higher wages and better working conditions. They're not. If you voice those concerns at these rallies, you will not be heard. They don't want you to speak about that. Okay, the rally was eventually it was created by Mike Kareff. Okay, and we were going to walk in Washington from NALC headquarters down to the Postal Service headquarters. All right, and Big Brian got a whiff of it, and he decided that the National Union might as well take it and turn it around. Okay, this was all part of the Vote No campaign. Okay, and it got absorbed into something bigger because of what is happening in the country, and we are losing focus on why we voted no, because the threats and the fear that is we're being saturated with right now. You have Congressman Al Green going on the defensive, all right, protecting the Postal Service, speaking against any decommissioning of the Postal Regulatory Commission, the watchdog arm of the Postal Service. Okay, you have Postmaster DeJoy writing letters to Congress people, discussing where he sees that DOGE can provide efficiency inside of the Postal Service. I think that Postmaster DeJoy is allowing DOGE to enter the Postal Service just because he wants to lead them into that direction and not necessarily look at the employee compensation part of it. It's going to happen anyway. I don't think we need a cut of 15% across the board on postal members' salaries. I don't. I think we need more money. I think we live in an overinflated economy. I think our national president dropped the ball. He should have negotiated our contract when the economy was extremely hot instead of letting it cool down to where it is today. Because now we have a cold economy, but inflation is still a thing. And because the economy is so cold, people don't want to pay and people don't want to hire. But yet inflation was never managed. Okay, so now we're in a interesting situation where we are making way more less than we should. The price of goods and services are still relatively high. And now rather than fighting for a higher wage increase, we're fighting for our survival. All right. I say that to say have faith. Okay, in times like this, in these trying times, it is no sense to argue with your brothers and sisters, but to find some type of common cause. If you go to a rally, I encourage you to, but understand what rally you're going to. It's not going to be about arguing and fighting against lower wages and better working conditions. That's not what it's about. It's about fighting to protect the service. I don't think the service is going anywhere, to be honest. However, be an active union member and do what you think is right, guys. This is just the beginning, all right? The end is going to be so much more beautiful if you stick around. Anyway, until next time I'll be here, you'll be there. Peace.